Hi everybody, it's June 7th, 2024. I'm on the banks of the Fraser River in one of my favorite places in the world. From this spot, you can see two countries, a state and a province, and at least 6 cities. So I'll just let you have a look. So where the bridges are back there, that's on the south side of the Fraser, which is across from me, is the city of Surrey. And then where those bridges are, that is from Surrey to New Westminster. And just past New Westminster is the city of Burnaby. And behind me is the city of Coquitlam. And if you can see mountains behind me, those are, that's North Vancouver. And back over there is Port Coquitlam. And I don't think you can see it, but Mount Baker is right behind me, and that's the United States and Washington State. So I just love this spot. It's so peaceful. They're constructing something here, I don't know what, but it's a beautiful spot. So just to bring you up to date on my case at the Supreme Court of Canada regarding the confinement and isolation of my little brother Paul Kierans, who had Down syndrome. And for 2 years, 588 days, 10 hours and 15 minutes, he was locked up by my nun sister 4,000 kilometers away in North Bay, Ontario, at the behest of his group home, L'Arche. That's L'Arche. L'Arche is a cult that was started by two SEX, PREDATORS, Jean Vanier, who was a retired naval officer from Canada, and Thomas Philippe, who was defrocked by the Vatican, excommunicated Catholic priest, and they preyed on the workers that were hired by L'Arche. Governments loved L'Arche because it had the air, or it had the authority of the Roman Catholic Church, which it didn't really have at all. And I've reported L'Arche's activities to the Archdiocese of Vancouver yesterday. I spent a long time on the phone with them, describing the inhumane treatment that my brother and I received by his isolation. I was his only living relative left in the Lower Mainland in Greater Vancouver. And L'Arche terminated my visits with him, my twice-weekly visits with him, through my nun sister 4,000 kilometers away in Ontario. I went to my trauma counselor yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and I find that it is very therapeutic, but she thinks that I need more work, so I'm going back again. I can only afford to go once a month. I am living on old age security and Canada pension. And I spent all the money I could borrow and all the money that I had on this case, fighting the public guardian and trustee of British Columbia, my sister's religious community, the Sisters of St. Joseph of Sault Ste. Marie, who are fabulously wealthy landowners in Ontario, and the government of BC. So the deepest pockets you can imagine, I tried to fight for the well-being of my little brother Paul Kierans, but in the end I was not successful, or at least to the Supreme Court. I went to the Court of Appeal of British Columbia twice, and I've already been to the Supreme Court of Canada once. And so I've received the response from my sister's lawyer for the Supreme Court, my application for permission to proceed at the Supreme Court of Canada. and I have not, to my knowledge, received the response from the public guardian and trustee. So the grief is settling in. It is very difficult to cope with the loss of my little brother. I have all my appointments with him still on my smartphone. I have pictures of him everywhere. I can't bear to throw away the games and puzzles and toys and art projects that we did together. I think that psychologically, I'm just holding on so that I can make it through the Supreme Court of Canada. So what I'm hoping to do with the Supreme Court of Canada's reform adult guardianship laws in Canada to, as has been done in 22 United States, to make it so that even legally appointed adult guardians, and that my sister was not legally appointed because the power of attorney that she had was a forgery. My brother did not have the capacity to appoint a representative. But even legally appointed guardians or conservators or people with the power of attorney should not have the ability to isolate and confine incapable adults from their other loved ones. So that's based on Peter Falk's law, which has taken over, spread like wildfire across the United States. Peter Falk's law was created when Peter Falk, who was the actor in the detective series Columbo, which I loved, he had a stroke in his 70s, and his second wife would not permit his adult daughters to visit him. And he died, and they were never able to visit him. So they set up the Peter Falk Institute. Catherine Falk, Falk, set up the Peter Falk Institute in the United States. And they're encouraging adult guardianship reform across the United States. In particular, the prohibition of any legally appointed adult guardian of an incapable adult from confining and isolating the adult from their other loved ones, which happens more often than you would think. Families who have problems, and this is a great way to retaliate against people you don't like, is cutting off the helpless, incapable, vulnerable adult from his other loved ones. And in this case, I was Paul's only relative left in Greater Vancouver. I was his only visitor. And L'Arche demanded that my 81-year-old nun sister, who's only met Paul a few times over the course of his life, left home shortly after he was born, couldn't understand his speech. L'Arche demanded that she terminate his visits with me, and I believe, I'm pretty sure that's because L'Arche's lawyer, Tara Brittenall, did not want me to have the opportunity to get a sample of Paul's signature because I alleged that it was a forgery. The signature in the document was a forgery. So that's it for today. I'm trying to keep my strength up. I'm trying to get in 10,000 steps a day. I got in 11,752 yesterday. And so part of it is just walking down to the river and enjoying nature. That helps keep me going. Please continue to pray for us. Go to your temple, your synagogue, your gurdwara, your mosque, and pray for us. Leave messages of support. It's more important now that, it's me against the deepest pockets in Canada, fighting for the rights of the most vulnerable. And so pray for us. Contribute to our GoFundMe account. We're down to $193 in our GoFundMe account. I have borrowed $32,455 to pay for experts and to pay for other legal expenses, but we're down to $193. So please show your support by contributing what you can afford to our GoFundMe account by clicking on the link in the description box above. And finally, copy and paste the email that I'll put in a draft email that I'll put in the description box of in the video, the description box above this video, and send it immediately from your email address to the decision makers who can change the law in Canada. Thank you, everybody. Paul, I miss you so much. I wish I could have brought you here, dear. I saw so many beautiful flowers and lots of daisies, and I know daisies are your favorite flower. Take care, everybody. Paul, I love you.